Please don't shout at the board.
You real quick. Alrighty then. Good evening, everyone. Is everybody here? Yes. Good evening, everyone. Can you all hear me okay? Uh-oh. We are going to call the meeting to order. Shay, can we get a roll call vote to establish a quorum? Here. 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 Here.
Present.
Maybe stand and recite the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. At this time, Vice President Dr. Coleman will read our board norms. Good evening.
The Riverview Gardens SAB Board is a cohesive team. We pause to hear all voices after someone speaks. We consider all opinions and assume all positive intentions. We strive to reach collective agreement. Collective voices are used to reach decisions. Honor and respect the work of the board, honoring and supporting the board decisions at all times. We are prepared for the meetings. Our board members review the packet and submit questions within an established time frame, and members of the board arrive early prior to the start of meetings. Administration sends board packets to the SAB within the identified time frame for their review. We do not allow outside entities to dictate board actions. The SAB decisions will be made based on facts, policies, and procedures, not individuals' opinions or requests. We educate and encourage the community to follow proper protocols for voicing concerns, policy KC, community engagement.
Thank you. At this time, I'm going to request an approval of the agenda. Now, motion to approve the agenda.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I need to pull an item.
Yes, ma'am.
I need to pull item 9B under information, February 2024 travel report.
9B.
9B is in boy.
Okay. May I have a motion to approve the agenda, removing 9B?
So move.
It's been moved by Mr. Harsey and Dr. Bonelli. Can I consider that a second? And second by
Yes.
Dr. Von Elliott. All in favor? Thank you.
We will now go to Riverview Garden Excellence.
Good evening, Special Administrative Board members, colleagues, community, parents, and especially our scholars. Great to see so many scholars here today. We have two groups of scholars that we want to recognize today. The first group is our spelling bee participants. So on January 11th, Riverview Garden School District featured its elementary spelling bee for 3rd through 5th graders district-wide. And it was wonderful. Haven't it on the district YouTube page where you can watch the live stream. There are also a lot of pictures that we posted online. I want to announce the top 3, and then I want to invite everybody who's present, who participated, come forward and stand. For the winners, for 3rd place, we had Alana Sampa from Lewis and Clark Elementary School. Not sure if Alana's here today. Of Lemaster. And the 1st place winner was Caden Singleton of Lemasters Elementary School. And so we want to congratulate all of our scholars. They got some wonderful gifts. I know the CNI department.
Are they
worked-
here?
I'm not sure if those students were here. I wanted to announce those top 3 and then invite everybody to come up because I know we have all the scholars and the parents who are here. So, oh yeah, well come on up. The other scholars who are in the spelling bee.
Oh, okay.
Tell them your name and.
My name is Trinity, and I really enjoyed participating in the spelling bee. I was kind of scared, but I ended up winning 1st place at my school.
My name is Alexandria, and I had a fun time, but I was still scared too.
And so you can stay. I'd like to get a picture with the board and our scholars. But it's wonderful that they can come up and admit that they were scared, they were nervous in the spelling bee in front of all of the parents and the family, but they all did well, they all excelled. And so we appreciate you for coming here today. Show off that t-shirt, show off that spelling bee t-shirt.
Mr. Sistron,
Yes.
as the board comes. As the board comes up, I just want to say I was one of the judges. This was the hardest spelling bee that I have ever had to judge. I thought it was going so well and they were hanging in there that we'd still be spelling today. They were a tough group. They did extremely well. When you're looking out at all those people in the audience, particularly the judges, the composure, the confidence, you couldn't tell they were nervous, but it was excellent. It was extremely excellent. And I just want to say, thank you, thank you, thank you. Continue the good work. But this was a tough one, Miss Ross. This one I thought was going to be going on a long time.
All the kids got great prizes. So thank you, Ms. Ross. And thank you for all the parents who brought the kids tonight to get this acknowledgement. So we appreciate you. So if we can take a picture with the board.
I would like for us to take the picture with the students, but most definitely I would love to know who the proud parents are. If they will stand and come on up and be a part of this picture. Yeah. Family members.
Exactly. Parents, grandparents, uncles, aunts, sisters, friends. They said, no, let it be the kids. All right.
They want to be.
And I just want to thank Miss Ross. She hustles to get those prizes. I mean, and she does an amazing job of getting people to donate. the great gift that our scholars receive. So thank you.
They got bikes, gift cards, tons of fun things. All right, thank you. And board members, you may want to remain standing, board members. We got a couple more scholars.
Don't sit down.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna just pull this around and stand over here. So also tonight, we want to honor two Riverview Gardens High School scholars. These scholars were recognized for National Signing Day earlier last week. And so National Signing Day is a day where high school students can sign their national letters of intent to play sports in college and to receive college scholarships. And so we had two athletes, two football players from the Riverview Gardens High School Rams. We have first James Hollins and Dennis Abel. So you guys are here today, stand up. And so come on around. So James Hollins, he's a 6'2", 175-pound quarterback. He's signed to attend Missouri S&T University, where he plans to major in aerospace engineering. And Dennis Abel is a 6'2", 185-pound defensive back. So he's guarding his passes right there. And he's signed to attend Missouri Southern State University, where he plans to major in animal science. What do you want to say about National Signing Day first?
Like what you put in is what you get out.
Right.
And I feel like I did that. And I earned it. Through these years of high school, I've been working hard, and this is what you get there. So thank you.
Right.
How y'all doing? Yeah, I'm a little nervous. Hold on. The review has been hard. I've been working hard, me and James, making whatever we can out of being here. But I just want to say thank you to all the people that have been here with me. Ms. Nave, Coach Mack over there hiding with the everybody. I just want to thank y'all. So yeah, that's all I got to say.
Thank you. If we can get a picture with you on the board as well. And if the parents, if the coaches, if the principals want to come up, come on.
Miss Lane, come on. Awesome.
Thank you. And yeah, you can sit down. Sorry. But I do want to stress, that these are scholar athletes. So yes, they're getting athletic scholarships, but they are scholars first, and they're going to get great education. Oh, come on. It's the board president. She put you on the spot.
Okay. I am a teacher for Riverview Gardens. So it is just a good feeling to see my brother graduate from the school district that I actually teach in. Yeah. So That's pretty much it. That's why I'm beaming.
Thank you. That concludes Riverview Excellence.
Also, every time somebody say something negative, every time somebody has something negative to say about our school district,
Go ahead,
something always happens to just dispel that. I am so proud of our I'm just messed up right now. Y'all know that, right? The spelling bee students and the young men. The young man told me that all he has to pay is $200. That's wonderful. Okay, where we at? Because I'm just messed up now. Thank you. Okay. Do we have any patrons that would like to speak before the board? No, ma'am. Okay. All right, we will then move on to item number 6. I can turn the page here. Which is the student representatives. Are our student representatives here?
No.
They are not here, okay. Then we will move on to announcements. Board members, do any of you all have any announcements? Okay, I just wanted to thank the people from MSBA that came out and did a special training session with the board members. We are really, really learning a lot, and I just appreciate the board members here for making the sacrifice to attend that training. We are really trying to let the residents know that we are really concerned about our district, and we want to be the best board members that we can be. So I just wanted to thank the board members for their sacrifice for coming out to that training.
Madam President.
Yes.
I just wanted to, there's a lot of echo, I'm sorry. Share with the citizens the importance of getting out to vote for this election. We have a lot of changes in position from the state board to elected board, alderman seats. Please go to 411 and review candidates and learn about the individuals so that we can have qualified people in the seats. These roles impact our community, and it's important for everyone to be informed about these seats. In addition to the legislation that's coming out related to school districts and school choice, please voice your concerns as citizens by writing your state representatives and other officials concerning the legislation.
Okay. Thank you. We will now move to the superintendent's report.
I do have a report, but we have some of our spelling bee participants who just arrived. And I just want us to take some time to also acknowledge them.
Okay.
Yeah. Come on up, come on up. So they have some navigation troubles getting here to the meeting, but we have Miss Chrisette Jones from Gibson Elementary School, and you were a spelling bee participant. And you're the president of your class, is that right? You want to tell the board about your experience in the spelling bee?
It was fun, but also scary at the moment because it was in front of a lot of people and people I didn't expect to be there. So it's been fun during that time and kind of scary at the same time because I didn't expect I would be doing it.
Well, we appreciate you for coming up. And as we talked to some of the other students earlier, we know that it's scary, especially to get in front of large groups like you did today. But you did it, you did well. And so we're proud of you. Okay.
Yes, you come get your pictures.
Come on.
Take your coat off and turn your shirt off. Miss Brown, do I see Dr. Henderson over there?
Dr. Henderson.
Come on. Huh? Now for my announcements. I also want to thank our board for your continued work under the umbrella of governance. I have really seen the evolution of this board, so thank you for that. I also want to echo the sentiments of Dr. Avant Elliott as it relates to some of the legislation that is impacting public education. You have the tax credit vouchers, you have open enrollment, and they are getting a lot of leverage. The House Bill 1989, for open enrollment is really gaining some traction. It's been voted out of the House, and I want to thank those representatives who represent Riverview Gardens who voted against it. Now it's in the Senate. It may not pass the Senate, but what we've been told is ultimately it's possibly going to happen. And while our board did a resolution last January against open enrollment, if it passes by December of 2024, we will have to make a decision as a district whether we're going to participate in open enrollment or not. Even if we say no, that does not stop parents from being able to transfer their kids. The legislation currently speaks to 3%, but there's a counter legislation that's trying to push it to 5%. And I need to say that so go the students, so goes the funds that support those students. And not only that, it impacts staffing because you start to plan for the number of staff you're going to need. And if this passes and true students leave, then you could end up with teachers that supersede your need. So I encourage you to please speak to your legislators, write to them. The superintendents are planning a day to go collectively and speak to our legislators as well. Also, there is a PLC board that has a group of advocates that Ms. Lane and I sat in on their meeting. And I know that they've asked that they use our school logos on the advertisement that goes against this open enrollment. Sometimes people don't know the impact that it can have. The same thing with the voucher system. It will allow students who are in charter and private schools, their parents, to request refunds. And even though their child may have never gone to a public school. And so this can have a financial impact. Dr. Singleton has been researching to see what the impact will be on our district with either one, if either one of these passes. But this is critical. There's so much right now against public education that it's just, it's unimaginable, is all I can say. And so anything you can say, if you know your representative, speak to them. If you don't know them and you know somebody who does, still feel free to write a letter. That concludes my announcements. Oh, and school is closed Monday for President's Day and this Friday for professional development. That concludes my announcements.
Superintendent's report.
Our first item for information is the RGSD being awarded 6 electric vehicles. Making this presentation is Dr. Levon Singleton. This is in compliance with CSIP's Goal 1, and that is student performance as well as Goal 2 for attendance. It is also in compliance with Board Policy EEA, Student Transportation Services. Dr. Singleton.
Thank you. Good evening, Special Administrative Board, Dr. Pruitt-Adams, colleagues, and community. I'm here in that same vein of good news that we've heard all night to share with you that we recently got awarded 6 electric vehicles. Now, they call them electric vehicles, but they are low emission, zero emission buses. And so we were not successful in the first round. It's typically a lottery, okay? And so the EPA released this huge amounts of funds based on needs and things of that nature. Our district submitted for the first round of funding and we didn't get any vehicles. We submitted for the second round of funding and we got six electric vehicles. Those buses are due to come into the school district in the 25-26 school year. So obviously they have to be ordered, they have to be made to specifications. But this is exciting news because these are buses that will remain and belong to the Riverview Gardens School District. We have also submitted for additional funding in round 3. We're not going to stop submitting. So, Ms. Morrow Real, when I call you and tell you, I need you to sign this document so we can submit, you always give us the green light to go ahead. And so thank you for that. But again, we're in the third round. We've submitted for some additional vehicles. We currently have a fleet of about 25 to 30 buses. Most of our buses we lease. We do own a few, but obviously the ones that we own are aging, okay? So this will allow us to retire some of those older vehicles and salvage them and then replenish them with some of the new electric vehicles. We know that we're going to this low emissions and zero emissions type of movement. And so these vehicles are certainly going to be in compliance with that. So I do want to thank our superintendent, our board, our entire board, and everybody who's just allowed us to just go out and get these additional funding opportunities for the scholars in our school district. So that concludes my report and announcement. Do you have any questions for me?
Size of these buses?
These are the big buses. That's all I can say, the big ones. Probably those 71 passengers, I think. Yes, I think these are those vehicles.
On most of them, I thought they were like 48 passengers. They're bigger
Oh,
than
no,
that?
no, they're much bigger. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. The school buses that we run on a day-to-day basis for our homeschool routes typically are about 71 passengers or more. So yes, these are the big buses. Yep. Ms. Titsworth.
So you say this is like a lottery, you pull number?
Well, right, it's a lottery. So all the schools, based on a need, all schools, they go into this pot and literally you're being pulled. And so because of our need, obviously we were a priority school. And so we, in this second round, we got chosen for 6 vehicles. I think Hancock Place locally was the other school district around that got some electric vehicles as well.
So in the third round, we a school that needs, so we'll be priority.
Well, yes, ma'am. We're going for every round. So we're eligible to go in every round. And so, you know, even though we got some this last round, we're going to continuously go because if we can replenish our fleet, you know, that would just simply be amazing, you know. But we're going to go for an additional 15 buses or so this next round, which will get us to about 21 buses. We still lease a few through our contract with First Student. But I think this is really exciting news. So, all right. Thank you.
Thank you. The next item for information is the Riverview Gardens High School Food Market. This is in compliance with CSIP's Collaborative Climate and Culture. Making this presentation is Dr. Tanya Patton, Assistant Superintendent for Student, School, and Community Support.
Good evening, SAB members, Dr. Jorlin, colleagues, and community. As you know, we live in a food desert. So we are doing our best to bring our stores into our schools. We have 2 school markets. One is at Koch and one is at Highland Elementary School. We are bringing one forth to be at our high school. This will help that community. It will help the students, especially as they go home over the weekends. Some of our students count on us for their lunch every day, and that at times may be the only food that they have. So this will really help our students as well as the community. So I'm bringing forth to you for information that we will open a high school market soon in conjunction with Boeing, STL Area Food Bank, and the Little Bit Foundation. I will bring more information once it opens, but I wanted to bring that forth for now. Are there any questions?
That concludes our items for information. We're now in items for discussion. The first one is district donations from December 2023, January 2024. Also making this presentation is Dr. Tanya Patton, I called her Tanya. And this too is in compliance with Collaborative Climate and Culture. That pays for calling me Joy Lynn and Pruitt Adams.
Dr. Joylyn, I've been sitting next to you for 2 years. Oh, my goodness. It's all good. Good afternoon again. I'm bringing forth to you, actually, Dr. Jorling had said that it's December 2023. It's actually November 2023, and that's my fault. And it's through January of 2024. We have had donations. Our community has supported us greatly. We have 5 pages of donations, everything ranging from donating turkeys to clothing to coats to gifts for the district spelling bee. We have bikes in the building that Ms. Ross was able to get donated for the spelling bee. We have holiday gifts. We had Boeing adopt the entire school over at Lewis and Clark. So we have had many donations. Our community has supported us greatly. I'm bringing that to you for, it is my recommendation that the SAB accept the donations as reported for November 23rd to January 24th. January 2024. Are there any questions?
It's just a blessing. to
It
have
is
that
a
type of
blessing.
support.
Yep, 5 pages. And there must have been like 10 or 15 lines on each page. So it was they've supported this school district very well.
And thank you, Ms. Ross, for your hard efforts as well. Thank you so much.
She was getting ready to ride one of those bikes through Central Services. I had to stop her, so.
Our
Yes,
next, I,
Madam President, oh, I had a question.
Okay,
I have a quick question.
I'll let Dr. Von Elliott get on with you. Okay, Dr. Von Elliott.
I saw a donation from, I believe, the athletic department from the high school. I was just curious about their donation and how it was considered a donation coming from the district athletic.
Well, we
department.
have vendors who donate to our athletic department. And so that's how that is considered a donation to our district.
Okay, so it was not from the athletic department. It was something. Okay.
Well, it was donated to the athletic department and then they donated it to the district to help out with different things within our district.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, just a quick question. What's the means, method or protocol for people that want to contribute to the district? Just call the school? What's the method to do that?
So they can just call the school, they can call the district and say that they want to donate different items. Sometimes we are soliciting for those donations as well, like we did for the spelling bee. But other than that, but like Boeing called me to say, we'd like to adopt a couple of classrooms at Lewis and Clark, and I begged them to adopt the whole school. So it can happen with someone calling, saying they want to make the donation, or us asking for donations for certain things that we're doing. You have a donation you want to make? You can talk to me after. Okay, all right. Are there other questions? Yes, ma'am. Why Coke is never mentioned? I'm specifically. Oh, Coke has many things donated. If you look on the list, Ms. Titsworth, you might see Coke on there. I was over at Coke, I know for sure last year, and they had an entire, their conference room was full of backpacks that was donated in coats. So they often have things donated. As we move through the year, don't worry, I'll bring forth Coke. And if you'd like to make a donation to Coke, please let me know. Are there other questions? Okay.
okay, the next item is Girl Scouts of Eastern Missouri, MOU. Also making this presentation is Dr. Patton. This too is in compliance with CSIP's collaborative cultures.
So this is an MOU for Girl Scout services. Girl Scouts work with different area elementary schools, and they allow our students to join Girl Scouts and get that experience. This is at no charge to our school district, and the organization is Girl Scouts of Eastern Missouri. And again, no charge to our school district. So it is recommended that the SAB accept the MOU as written. Are there any questions?
I do have one question.
Yes,
regarding
ma'am.
this. And so this would be like they can form Girl Scout troops here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then I know that this is about to become cookie season, but I had also heard that now, the way the Scouts are doing it, they are allowing the troops to basically make their own determination as to what they want to sell cookies for, I think. So how would that, if they have a troop here, how would they have to report if they sold cookies as a Riverview Garden troop? Just curious.
Well, they would probably do that with their particular parents. My granddaughters are in Girl Scouts and they sell, well, actually, their parents sell the cookies for them. But it's not necessarily through the school, Ms. Morrill, it's through the troop.
Bingo. Okay.
Right. Mhm.
Okay, thank you for that
Yeah.
clarification.
And Ms. Morrill, the cookies are now on sale. I already have mine.
I've already eaten mine.
No.
Yes, ma'am, Ms. Jackson.
Just for information, I am a Girl Scout troop leader in Lewis and Clark. My troop is $5.99 and we are selling cookies.
All right.
And I always do make sure that I let people know that we are a troop idol girl of Lewis and Clark in Riverview Garden School District.
Very good. Thank you.
Are you doing the cookies online?
My girls are, yes.
Would you send Dr. Jorlin the link, please? So, oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, we've lost control of the board meeting. Come back.
Our next item, if there are no more questions on that one. Our next item is the Ungun Institute contract for February 2024 through May 2024. This too is under Collaborative Cultures. And this is in compliance with our CSIP. I just said that. Making this presentation is Dr. Tanya Patton.
So Dr. Jorlin has already mentioned Ungun Institute. They approached us wanting to do a girls' self-empowerment at our high school. So we met with them. We met with the two representatives as well as Ms. Nave to discuss what they wanted to do. This program is focused on social emotional well-being of the female students at our high school. It would also assist them in teaching them how to develop a business plan and maybe form a business. So I'm bringing this forth to you in hopes that if we bring this program in, it will equip our students with self-awareness tools to assist them to be successful in school. It is budgeted. It will come out of the ESSER 3 funding, and the contract has been vetted by our legal services. It is recommended that the SAB accept the contract with Ungun in the amount of $32,500. Are there any questions?
I have some questions. I was looking at the contract and the language is kind of vague other than stating the objectives or the desired outcomes. And I just want to know what specific strategies they will employ.
Well, they really want to work with our students that may be having the most difficulty at our high school. They will do it throughout the school days, my understanding. And Ms. Nave has worked with them to select a group of students that she believes will need that kind of support. And so I believe I think it's an hour a day, an hour, maybe 4 hours a week. And so that she will be on campus. It will be on our school in one of the classrooms, and there will be a Riverview Gardens teacher in the room with them.
You don't know what specifically they're going to be doing.
I can give you all the details. I have the contract in my office and I can give you all the details. I can email that to Shay to send to you all.
We have the contract.
Well, but there's a self-awareness kind of pamphlet that she shared with us. And I thought I uploaded it, but maybe I didn't, but I will get you that information.
But they will also develop and create businesses
Yeah.
that are of their interest and under the umbrella of entrepreneurship.
Yes.
So then my question, is to go kind of along with her. As you said that Ms. Nave has selected the students, I would like to know for the cost, the breakdown per how many students.
Okay, I can get that to you, Ms. Morrell.
Does this group have anything to do with, decreasing gun violence? Just the name,
Ms. Harsley, Mr. Harsley, no, none of it has to do with decreasing gun violence that was shared with me. What they want to focus on is empowering the female students in our community, and hopefully by empowering them, maybe there is some connection to, I don't understand the title of Ungun, I have to tell you that. But because none of their presentation involved weapons of any sort or decreasing weapons or any of it. But I will get those answers to you, Ms. Morrio, as well as Dr. Coleman.
If you get it to Shay, she can just send it to the entire board.
Okay. Are there other questions? Thank you.
The next item is our program of study revision for 24-25. Making this presentation is Ms. Tanya Ross, ELA Coordinator. This item is in compliance with college and career readiness and student performance. Also under the umbrella of policy IGA, IGAD, and IGCE. Ms. Ross?
Good evening, Special Administrative Board, Dr. JPA, colleagues, and the school community. Tonight, I am offering up for discussion our revision for the 2024-2025 program of study. In a nutshell, the program of study provides for our students and our teachers, our parents, a structured approach to sharing the academic and career and technical education that's offered to our scholars. The main point there, the focus, is so that our students are better prepared for post-secondary decisions, whether that is going into the workforce or whether that is pursuing a college education. With that being said, we work together as a school community to make sure that our students and our parents are educated on the courses that are offered. Students are involved in the process of choosing their courses, not just from what the courses they need in order to be successful when they graduate, but also in terms of just having a say-so towards the actual career path or educational opportunities that they would like to pursue. And so again, we make this decision. We help them to make the decision. We don't have any new courses that are being offered in the 2024-2025 school year. However, we have added some additional sections to the program of study. We have added the non-discrimination section to the program of study, which outlines the state statutes as it relates to Title IX and sexual harassment. And also with our growing population of ELL students, we've also added an additional section for our ELL students and their families. Changes that occur also at the secondary level. We have now removed 2 programs of studies. We used to have one for Westview, and then we used to have one for Central Middle. The rationale behind that, especially with MSIP 6, is equity within our schools. What is offered at one school, we would like it to also be offered and give the students the same opportunity regardless of what school that they attend. In addition to that, Senate Bill 681 passed last year, and it requires that kindergarten through now 12th grade be exposed to computer science. And what that really does is open up the opportunity for the students to participate in various critical thinking opportunities. It already was offered at the middle school and high school levels. And so what that connects with is the college and career readiness pathways. The college and career readiness pathways, it is our hope as we move into next steps in improving our instructional program, is that every major subject area will be tied to a particular career path. And so the earlier the exposure occurs with those additional career opportunities, it is our hope that as our students enter into secondary schools, that they are more prepared to make college and career readiness decisions. Are there any questions?
Madam President, I have a quick question.
Okay, yes.
How are we informing and educating our children about AI or cybersecurity? Is that embedded in any of the curriculum?
Yes, we do, still offer, we at once upon a time offered, I'm not sure what the faculty status is now for the cybersecurity. Okay, so yes, our high school still does offer that. And then going into this year, we are looking into, and I don't know if Dr. Larry is on. Oh, Dr. Larry's here. Dr. Larry, sorry to put you on the spot, but we have had some conversations about AI and educating our parents and teachers. Just 2 seconds, Dr. Larry.
Thank you, Ms. Ross. Good evening. We are still doing conversations with other district leaders and determining, as you know, one of the main things that people were interested in was GPT. That's the one that was really popular. However, we found there are numerous of those programs available. So we are in constant communication. The department is looking into it and trying to determine the best way to proceed, how we can put it to our advantage. I've noticed that Dr. JPA had me completing a survey from, I think it's a group now, but anyway, it's a national organization. And one of their whole sections was devoted to AI. So we are in consideration. We haven't made any final decisions. We're still studying the subject and coming up with how to best proceed. At first, our department was looking at, should we develop a policy for it? And I don't think we can't do that until we really understand the full benefits of it, or benefits, what the problems are or whatever. So it is being considered. We're looking into it, but we have not made a final decision yet.
You may want to just reach out to some of the school districts that are wrestling with this, and some of the colleges and the universities. Even Dr. Patton and Mr. Ford Senior and I have had conversations just about trying to find that balance between the good side of AI and the other side of AI, and just really trying to figure out, because there has to be some type of monitoring
Yes,
when you put something like that in place.
yes. And I am in communication with other district technology leaders. That's who we've been talking to, because I'm a group of that. Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes.
President. We've been hearing a lot. Is this on?
Yes.
Okay. We've been hearing a lot about the effect of social media and the exposure of our children. And some of the tech executives have been to Capitol Hill to talk about that and the parameters that need to be in place. What is our philosophy about? And I know it's a broad sweeping question, but what is our philosophy about enough and too much, and the positive and the negative of all of that? Because when we hear the negative, it's generally because there have been no parameters over matters. So what do you think about that?
Well, I will say, let me think about that, because we don't have a policy directly for that. We have to be careful, because, you know, you have that fine line where you end up invading privacy, you end up crossing the line. So I would rather get back with you and make an official statement, because we don't have a policy per se that just pertains to social media. The communications department may, because they have more to do with that. So, but as far as technology, we just make sure stuff works. So I don't want to, because that's when they call me, when it doesn't work.
But I will say this on behalf of technology. We do have firewalls.
Yes.
That we try to, during the scope of the school day, you know, block our students from going to some of those firewalls. But, you know, kids today, they know how to get around that. And we also have a policy that does speak to inappropriate use of the internet. We've had town halls where we've tried to talk to our parents about the influences of social media. But for Dr. Larry, just in her defense, to come up with a district stance, that's not her role. That's something that if the board wants a policy, then you direct us to work with MSBA to create one. I would not want to put Dr. Larry in the position of coming up with a decision like that on her own.
I will say one thing as I'm trying to think. We are required, since we use a lot of E-rate dollars, and at the next board meeting, I have to talk about that. Everything has to be SIPA compliant. So there are certain requirements that we have to follow based on the SIPA compliance. And I will talk more about that at the next board. The next board meeting is mine, so you'll get to.
Thank you, Dr.
You're welcome.
AI is here, and currently what's at least happening to formal writing assignments. I'm going to start with ELA. We encourage our teachers to get to know our students. And so when you have students submitting papers that, that are not authentic, we're hoping that the relationships that the teachers have built with the students will know whether or not that student has produced that writing. In addition to requiring most of the writing to be done in class. And so, it is present. We are taking some measures to reduce some of the negative things as a result of AI. But at the same time, we all know that there are some positive as well. So we don't want to lose sight of that. There's one other revision that was made, or at least we don't have the information to share. A part of every program of study, we have our administrative page from the board all the way down, to our principals. And so with that being said, in those areas where we have vacancies, or at least we know we will have vacancies, in the program of study, it just says that it will be updated in April. So we will make sure that you get the updated copy as we transition beyond April.
Superintendent, this is public information, I believe. On my Google phone, it says solve homework with your camera. And you click it and it says take a picture of your homework question. Now, I don't have a homework question to take a picture of, but this is all AI.
It is.
Okay, so and I know you're saying this is not a district, this is probably not even a district decision.
There are districts that are discussing it. What I said was not a district decision, is a board decision. Is you asked Dr. Larry her stance on social media.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Her opinion.
So, but AI is, almost every conference we go to now, there's a session on AI. Prime example, I'm a part of the Kansas, Missouri Superintendent's Forum. And I went into that meeting thinking, nope, not doing it. And then when they said, when you get in your car and your car says it's 10 minutes from work, that's AI, right? I had no clue. When you're talking and Siri gets in your conversation, or you tell Siri where you want to go, that's AI. The difficulty that schools are challenged with, AI is only knowledgeable up until September 2021, I think. But even if a teacher says, back when I was writing my dissertation, I had to put it in Intuit, and it would say, how much this matched to something else. The thing that we learned with AI, which is why it becomes a challenge for school districts, is if you ask or put it into AI and say, is this the work of that student? Did you write it? Did AI write it? AI could probably say, I might have, but it's I could put in the question, Reverend Horsley could put in the question, Ms. Morrill, all the same question, and get 3 different answers. And so that's where it becomes a challenge for school districts whether it's plagiarism or not. That's the challenge. And so there are some universities that have said no AI. I don't know how they know that it's not happening, because it can happen at the house. That's the challenge that I'm speaking about of AI, the good, the bad, because it's so, because it's AI, I guess. And you hear it every day with actors and actresses where you think that it's them selling this product and it's not. So if you had homework, it would probably give you the answer. But what does it? You could go into Google and say, what time is it in San Diego? And it will tell you. Or you can go into Google and say, can you convert pounds to kilograms? And it will tell you all of that. I've learned, and I've now learned to accept it. It's AI.
And unfortunately, the children find a way to get around it
Oh,
because you can put it in AI and sometimes it'll tell you this is 94% plagiarized. And
Yeah.
sometimes it'll say this is 94% human written. I want to know what human, because I know my eighth grade student did not write that. And so they find a way to get around it. And it's so challenging. One of the things that we were told in one of those conferences is to find a way to use it to the advantage. So I have literally gone to the point where when I get ready to write in my classroom, close your Chromebooks. Let's take out your ink pen and your paper. And you have to write from what you know. And then now let's look at it. How can I make it better? And then maybe put that in AI. And AI then is correcting your original work. And sometimes you don't want to do that because you want to know what the students know, what you actually write. But they find a way to get around it. I don't care. Plagiarism detector, all of that. Listen, I have tried everything and they find a way every time to get around it.
We went down another rabbit hole there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next item, if my computer goes back, is the summary of fund balance report for the month ending November 30, 2023. Making this presentation is Dr. Levon Singleton, CFO, and it meets all factions of the CSIP, as well as board policy DIAA fund balance.
All right. Good evening again, Special Administrative Board. The summary of fund balance report, I believe Tim is bringing it up on the screen. I'll focus on the second page just in the interest of time, because all the subsequent pages really follow and lead back up to this second page. So on the second page of the summary of fund balance report, please keep in mind that this is through November, okay? November. We'll present December and then January. We only had one board meeting in December, obviously, which that's why we're just dealing with the November report at this time. So on this second page, again, on the left side, you see, go back a previous page, Tim. On the left side, you see the general fund. You see each of our funds: general fund, teachers fund, debt service, capital projects, food service, and student activities. The next column over shows you the beginning of the year fiscal balances. All right. So roughly $33 million is what we started in July with each of these funds. So our year-to-date revenue column, the second column over, shows the monies that we've received in this fiscal year. The next column over shows the expenditures that we've made through November the 30th. I want to bring your attention to the revenues and expenditures, because most school districts around this time of the year show a pretty big imbalance in the revenues and expenses. And we all know one of the biggest reasons for this is because of property tax revenues and real estate taxes. We've not gotten those. Generally, those monies hit our coffers in December and January. So your December and January report should look a little better than this one, but I obviously wanted to just bring that to the board's attention, okay? And then we have an ending fund balance of roughly $20 million, okay? I will just go very quickly through the other couple of pages. The next set of pages deals with the grant expenditures. We look at our title grants, our ESSER grants. let me say this again. It's been a while since we've talked about ESSER. This is it for ESSER, okay? ESSER is leaving us September the 30th. And we had a budget meeting, a budget retreat about 2 weeks ago. And so all of our budget managers and principals and directors and superintendents and assistant superintendents know that next year's budget will probably get us closer back to a reality budget, okay? It won't have those additional monies that we've seen over the past several years, okay? So we expect to really go back to a more realistic budget in the school district. The next page looks at those revenues again that have come in year to date and then outstanding to be collected. We got our title revenues that'll be coming in here real soon. Typically this time of year, we go back and forth with DESE about title approving that title grant. So we should see some significant monies coming in related to title as well. On the revenue side, on the next page, gives by fund. I think we've talked about that one, so we won't spend much time on that one or the next page, which is the expenditures by fund. But I do want to call your attention to the last 2 pages, which are your year-over-year comparisons, okay? And I'll start with the very right column, the very far column. It says general fund, and then it says 2021. Okay. And so where were we this time in 2021? November 30th of 21, November 30th of 22, November 30th of 23. Okay. And we can see that in 21, that's when those ESSER funds really started to roll in. But in 22 and 23, our district received a substantial amount of those ESSER funds. And the very last page deals with the expenditures again, year to year. 21, 22, and 23. And as we can see, each year, our expenditures have progressively increased, okay? That concludes the summary of fund balance report. Are there any questions that I can answer at this time?
When's the deadline or when's the last date for which the ESSER 3 funds can be spent?
Sure. ESSER 3 funds have a completion date of September the 30th, 2023, okay? 2024. So nothing beyond September the 30th can be charged to ESSER.
What's the approximate balance for the ESSER 3 that would be spent between now and September 2024?
Quite a bit of money. I don't want to, maybe an additional 10 to $15 million. And that's just a rough guess. But we still have Solution Tree is one of our biggest ESSER expenses. And that's actually the only expense that we'll be putting in next year's budget related to ESSER. We want to pay the final year of Solution Tree so that we can continue the work that we're doing in all of our schools with Solution Tree. So Solution Tree will be a part of next year's budget. We will pay for it using ESSER funds, but the other expenditures related to ESSER, we've allowed ESSER to kind of reimburse us for some of the things that we've been doing, and that has helped us to build our fund balance. And so I think that's one of the strategies we will do is make sure that ESSER can allow us to at least build our fund balance so we could kind of maneuver for at least another couple to a few years.
Madam President,
Yes.
I was going to piggyback off of what you were just saying, Dr. Singleton, for Solution Tree. Is it a different additional fund that is paying for that as well, like federal dollars or something from that support?
Yeah, to my knowledge, the big Solution Tree contract that covers the work. Now we know that DESE is picking up the bill for 3, our turnaround schools. Okay. We are picking up the bill for the remaining 9 schools because we're doing that work at every school. Now there are some principals who utilize Solution Tree services kind of unique to their building, and that's generally taken out of either their GOB or their title budgets. But the big bulk of those ESSER expenditures or those Solution Tree expenditures come out of the ESSER 3 funds.
Thank you. That's what I want to understand. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Thank you.
The next item is the Riverview Gardens School District Disclosure Services Renewal Proposal with Gilmore and Bell PC. This too is in compliance with CSIP's attendance, staffing and workforce, collaborative cultures, and is also in compliance with board policy DC-1, taxing and borrowing authority and limitations. Dr. Singleton?
Thank you. The basic premises behind this agreement, we typically go into a 5-year agreement with our bond counsel. These are the people that make sure, Gilmore and Bell is our bond counsel, and their job is to make sure that our annual paperwork is filed for all the bond issues that we have outstanding. That is their job. And so I think we typically pay them $1,500 a year. It's a nominal fee, but they make sure they keep us out of trouble. They keep us compliant in terms of filing the required financial reports and operating data with the municipal securities regulating authorities. And so this is a renewal. Our contract with them expired at the end of the last school year. So we're asking for a 5-year renewal, but we do it on an annual basis. And so we're asking that we approve this agreement for the next 5 years, but we're going to pay it on an annual basis at $1,500 a year, not to exceed the $7,500 over 5 years. Are there any questions for me? Okay, thank you.
And our last item for discussion is the staffing plan adjustment. Making this presentation is Mr. Travis Ford Senior. This is in compliance with CSIP staffing and workforce. So with no policy, GCA professional staff positions and GDA support staff positions.
Good evening, Special Administrative Board, Dr. Pruitt-Adams, colleagues, and community. Today I have before you the staffing plan adjustment. This year in April 11th, 2023, actually, our staffing plan was approved based off our projected enrollments. Since that time, we have recommended changes to the staffing plan to reflect adjustments based on the district's needs. Today, we are making a recommendation that we add an administrative assistant for the Director of Alternative Education. This administrative assistant will support the department to make sure that we have accuracy and our organization skills are efficient in that department. The Alternative Education Department is a crucial component for the successful operations of our school district. Also, this will establish equity in the administrative support between locations that since we have moved our alternative education department back into our district facilities. This position is budgeted, and it is recommended that the Special Administrative Board approve this request. Are there any questions? Thank you.
That concludes our items for discussion.
We will now move to items for approval in the consent agenda. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Been moved by Ms. Lane. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Dr. Coleman. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. We will now move to items for action. May I have a motion regarding Ungun Institute contract for February through May of 2024.
We need some more information. I motion that we hold off voting for this item until we receive some more information and clarity about the work that will be done in the work product suggested.
Is there a second to that motion? Second. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
We will now move to item 14, which is, oh, I'm sorry. Any opposers?
Well, for the discussion. Madam President.
Yes.
Okay, this will be, I guess, for the fall school year.
No, it was to start this month and go through May.
Okay,
Being paid for out of ESSER funds.
okay, so it was to start before our next board meeting.
That was the plan, but we have another board meeting April 27th, is it? February. Oh, I said April. It's time to go home.
I did see in the description where they specifically indicated what was gonna be done during the weekly activities. It was specifically stated in the agreement, so I'm not sure what additional information we would need in order to move forward. It says intro, engagement, entrepreneurship program, delivery, self-business value, and then project schedule, and then it kind of go on to that. So I'm not sure. Maybe
Well, it stated some objectives, but I guess my question is, what specific strategies are they going to employ? What actually will you be doing? And now to think of it in such a short term, just before map testing or in the middle of, during map testing, how much of that you'll actually get done? What specifically, if you say, I'm going to, I want to create this relationship between young girls so that they learn to trust one, what are you gonna do to do that? Cause that could mean anything. So, what does that mean?
yeah, I just know that sometimes they don't get into that much detail in the MOU, but it's up to the board.
And then we have to also take this under consideration. People set up programs that they would like to start, but they still must realize that it is based on whether the board will approve it or not. So the fact that board members want additional information on that, I don't think that that would hold up. I mean, I know that they wanted to start it early, but I think that the main thing is before we vote on it, that we have a clear conscience as to what we're voting on. So anybody that submits anything for us to consider has to consider that it could either be a yay or a nay, or we need more information. And at this juncture, we have stated that we needed more information. With that being said, we will now move to, I need to do a vote. All that's done, we have a vote? Okay, thank you. So now we will go to item 14, which is adjournment. May I have a motion to adjourn?
Madam, point of order, there was no vote taken on that. On the tabling.
I'm sorry?
There was no vote taken on the tabling. We went into discussion and we didn't go into a vote.
She was asking for the vote when Dr. May said she had a question.
Okay, so go ahead
Or
and
did
take the
you get?
vote.
Cause
I thought it
no, it was a vote because Ms. Fields then asked you to ask, were there any opposers?
Right.
So the vote did
There
get
was a
taken.
vote, yeah.
It was unanimous.
But you could redo the vote. When Dr. Coleman, she made a vote, I thought her vote was to get additional information.
And that's what I thought too was.
The item had already been on the agenda for
Right.
discussion, so
Right.
Dr. May opened up additional discussion around it. So the vote that was taken was what Dr. Coleman said.
And what we voted on.
And that was to hold off until additional information was received.
And that's what the board.
That's why I asked was there any
Proposed.
proposal.
Okay,
Dr.
maybe.
So Dr. Von Ellinger, were you opposing it?
Yes, I'm opposed, but I didn't hear the vote. You all may have to go back and hear something different, but I didn't hear a vote take place
Okay.
after my discussion. Okay.
Let's turn down as an opposed. Okay. So now when we go to item 14 for adjournment, and I believe that it was you, Ms. Jackson, that made the motion.
Yes.
Did we have a second?
Second.
Okay. Okay. Ms. Jackson makes the motion and Ms. Lane has second that we adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.